How's it going, everyone? James Lynch here for oddschecker.com, taking a look at Saturday's UFC Fight Island 3 main event, which features former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker taking on Darren Till. And I love this fight. And this is a really close matchup. If you look on oddschecker.com right now, if you look at all the betting lines, Robert Whittaker is only a slight favorite, and that's pretty much how I see this fight as well. Whittaker, of course, coming off that loss to Israel Adesanya in October, where he lost his middleweight title. He was knocked out in the second round in that fight, and that was the first loss for Whittaker in a while. He was on a nice winning streak heading into that fight against Israel Adesanya, but here he is looking to get back on the winning track, and he's facing a very dangerous opponent in Darren Till, who picked up a huge win in his middleweight debut in the UFC, getting that decision victory over Calvin Gastelum at UFC 244. Now looking at sort of the physicality of both fighters, Robert Whittaker, 6 feet tall with a 73.5 inch reach. Darren Till, the same height, but he's got a 75 inch reach, so 2 inch reach advantage for Darren Till heading into this fight. But Robert Whittaker has been way more of a mainstay at middleweight, having fought there 9 times. Darren Till's only had 1 fight at middleweight in the UFC, and that was his last fight against Calvin Gastelum, which was a great win. That was a fight where he was the underdog. He ended up pulling off the upset. Gastelum had no answers for Till over the 3-round fight, so Till getting a huge win and obviously getting this opportunity here against Robert Whittaker on Saturday. But there's a lot of interesting things about this fight. For starters, I mentioned the experience with Robert Whittaker in the middleweight division. He's got some quality wins in that division as well. You don't just go out there and beat Yoel Romero twice like Robert Whittaker did. I know that second fight was a little bit closer than people would have liked, but in general, he does have 2 wins over him, and just some quality wins in general at middleweight for Robert Whittaker. So it's a case of, is Whittaker still competing at a high level? We're going to find out those answers. If you watch some of the interviews that Whittaker had after the fight, when he took a long layoff after the loss to Adesanya, he explained that he was kind of burnt out. So I do take that into consideration for Saturday's fight, that, the Adesanya fight, yeah, it wasn't a great result for him, but I think part of that too could have been him, overtraining, trying to get back on the horse, so to speak. If you remember, he was supposed to fight Calvin Gastelum last year, had that hernia issue. So Whittaker had a pretty rough 2019. I expect him to look a lot better in this fight on Saturday night. Now, not taking anything away from Darren Till. We know the talent level of him. Clearly middleweight, the better weight class for him. Let's not forget that heading into that Gastelum fight, 2-fight losing streak was finished by Tyron Woodley and finished by Jorge Masvidal. So moving up to middleweight looks like a lot better weight class for him. But here's the problem with Darren Till. We don't know enough about him in middleweight. He's got 1 fight. He's facing a guy who's a former champion. I mean, Till could go out there and beat Robert Whittaker. He's got great striking. He's obviously, very active guy, a little bit younger than Robert Whittaker, but I don't like the fact he hasn't been battle tested at 185 where Robert Whittaker has. And this is one of those cases, kind of like looking at the fight between Kamaru Usman and Tyron Woodley last year, where Tyron Woodley was the champion and, defending his title. And a lot of people expected him to beat Kamaru Usman, but he faced a guy in Usman who maybe hadn't fought the level of competition that Woodley had, but he went out there and surprised everyone. So that could happen here. And that's why this fight, like I said, is very close. But my pick for this fight is going to be Robert Whittaker. You can't ignore the body of work he's done at 185. You can't ignore the fact that, he's fought tough guys and has not got knocked out. I see a lot of people on social media saying that Whittaker's going to get finished early on. I just don't see that happening. I think Whittaker had a bad night against Israel Adesanya. I'm banking on that, and I'm banking on the fact that his experience will lead him to victory. Let's not forget either that Darren Till only has 1 fight that's gone 5 rounds, and that was against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in a fight where I think a lot of people felt like Till didn't win that fight. So keep that in mind as well, that Whittaker has the championship experience, going 5 rounds twice with Yoel Romero. I think that pays a lot in this fight as far as Robert Whittaker goes. So like I said, right now, most of the books, if you look on Odds Checker, have Whittaker as a slight favorite, anywhere from minus 115 to minus 120. I think there is some value there, but I would almost look at some prop bets as well if you can. Whittaker by decision would likely get you some better odds there. The one thing we do know with Whittaker is that usually when he gets that step up in competition, or he fights someone that's basically at his level, the fight usually does go the distance, like against Yoel Romero, like earlier on when he wasn't the champion, when he fought Uriah Hall. The guys that Whittaker has finished in his career are guys that either on the decline or just not on his level, like a Jacare Souza, like a Brad Tavares. So you got to look at those types of fights where, and I've sort of put Darren Till in that category. I think Till is on the same level as Robert Whittaker, so I don't see Whittaker going out there and finishing Darren Till. So like I said, I think it's probably possible that Robert Whittaker wins the decision here. So if you want some better value there, let's say you do, even though it is pretty good value, you're getting Whittaker just slightly over plus money. I think if you want to get even better value, you might want to go with that prop bet with Whittaker by decision. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this fight. Who are you picking? I see a lot of Darren Till fans feeling like Whittaker's going to get knocked out. It could happen. This is a very close fight, but I'm going with experience on this one, and I'm picking Robert Whittaker. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Lynch on Sports, and make sure you subscribe to our Odds Checker YouTube channel, where you're going to find my breakdowns and exclusive interviews. Thanks so much for watching.